Yo, what's going on, guys? We are back with our picks for this week's NFL. We've got NFL Week 5. I think it's College Football Week 6. And we got some UFC fights this weekend. So I'm just going to be going over all the straight bets, kind of my thoughts on the week. I've got a couple parlays, some player props for you guys. But yeah, we're just going to look over everything and kind of see how we're going. So as you can see pulled up here, I've got my straight bets for the week. We'll go one by one with them, starting with the Niners minus 2.5. I think this moved up to 3, but I got the Niners at 2.5. I bought half a point. Niners are kind of in a little bit of a bounce back spot here, in the sense that their season's not really going to plan right now. You know, they have been struggling. They've got no McCaffrey right now. They had some injured other receivers and some defensemen at the beginning. But I just see them at a good spot here. It's a primetime game. I see it being a slow game. I see them taking the lead kind of by half. But 2.5 points, I think it's a great spread. If you can buy it down to that, I think the Niners can totally take this one. The Seahawks are good. Nothing against the Seahawks. I love Geno. DK's been playing great. Kenneth Walker's back. You know, it's a good team. I'm not going to be surprised if they win, but I'm going to be taking the Niners minus 2.5 here. We got the Jags on the money line. They play the Bears this week, and the Bears, they look better. Their offense is looking better. They have a good defense. I do like their defense this year. I just see it as a good spot for the Jags. This is the London game. It's a weird game. I just see them traveling well. I see Trevor Lawrence being, okay, you know, we won last week. We finally got a game under our belts. Let's win another one. And I think it's a good spot. Plus 105, good odds. But I will take them there. Texans minus 6.5. If I remember correct, they play the Panthers, I think. Let me double check. But yeah, I think the Texans play the Panthers. And yeah, no, sorry, they play the Patriots. Texans minus 6.5 against the Patriots. Patriots are switching to Drake May this week. I do like Drake May. I think he's going to be a solid quarterback, just not this week. You know, it's the first week there. Texans have a good defense, good D line. He's going to get pressed, and this is a good spot for the Texans minus 6.5. I know they have no Nico Collins this week, which is a decent hit, but I think they've got Joe Mixon running back in again. He's going to be looking better. I think they'll depend on their run game a little more, and I think they can easily win by a touchdown here. We got the Bucks over 41 against the Saints. We've seen in the past couple weeks, Baker Mayfield's playing like a top 5 quarterback. He's been unbelievable for them. And the Saints, they have a very explosive offense. You know, last week we didn't see the greatest game against them, but I mean, they were playing the Chiefs. Very high-rated defense, of course, a good offense. They really stalled the clock that game, and the Saints did struggle. I don't see them struggling again this week, though. It's a divisional matchup. They've played well against the Bucks the past couple of years. I think over 41 is a pretty good line to get this at. I easily seeing the Bucks being able to score 20, and I think the Saints could probably do the same thing. Shaheed's been a monster at that deep ball threat, and Kamara's been great this year. I think over 41 is a great line. Moving on, we got the Steelers minus 2.5 against the Raiders. I think the line's at 3. I bought it to 2.5. I just think it's worth it. I hate taking threes. But Steelers are looking good. Their offense is somewhat clicking. It didn't look great against the Cowboys, but we know the Cowboys have a good defense. You know, and the Raiders are in a weird position right now. They're starting Aiden O'Connell this week. They're switching away from Gardner Minshew, which, I mean, we saw last year. Aiden O'Connell's not bad. He can play. He's not a good quarterback, but he's not bad. But all the trade rumors with Devontae and some of the injuries, I see it being a low-scoring game, but I think the Steelers can easily win on a field goal here. They've just been playing better. They're the better team. Defense is elite. They've got the best defense in the NFL right now. I'll take 2.5 against the Raiders. Moving on, we got the Falcons minus 5.5. Falcons play. Ooh, who do Falcons play again? Falcons play Falcons play the Panthers. That's right. I will be taking the Falcons minus 5.5 here. Panthers just aren't it this year. Now I know they have made the switch and gotten rid of Bryce at quarterback, which has helped them. Don't get me wrong, that first week they looked really good when Bryce didn't play. But the Falcons, I just think they're a team that they're going to make playoffs this year. They have a decent record. They had a great win over the Bucs divisional last week. I think they know if they get another divisional win, that's going to really boost their chances at making playoffs, getting maybe a top 4 seed, winning that division. 5.5 points, I'll just take it against the Panthers. I know it's divisional. That's probably why it's somewhat of a shorter line, in my opinion. I would think it'd be a little higher than that, but we will take the Falcons minus 5.5. Run game's phenomenal. Kirk's finally looking good. They're clearly heating up on their pass game. Drake London's been amazing. Just overall better team than the Panthers. A touchdown, I think they could easily cover that. Let me double check again. The Bengals minus 3.5 against the Giants. It's the Sunday night game. Kind of a weird line to me. It kind of scares me off of it just because, I mean, not really, honestly. The Bengals haven't looked that great. Their defense is horrendous. I think the over might be a decent look in this game too, but when it looks at the record that the Bengals have and their team, I know their defense is atrocious, but Joe Burrow should not be, 1-4? I don't see it. The Giants suck. I don't think they're good. Malik Neighbors has been awesome. I don't know if he's playing this week, though, because he was in concussion protocol from 2 weeks ago. If he does play, makes it a little bit harder, but I will take the Bengals at 3.5 here. I think Joe Burrow's got to heat up. If they want any chance at making the playoffs or having a decent season, I mean, they got to win this game. They can't drop this game. If they drop this game, their season's over. But, yeah. So, moving on to college football. We've got a good week this week with a lot of rivalry games and stuff. Starting off with Ohio State minus 3 against Oregon. You know, Ohio State number 3, Oregon number 4. Great matchup. I just see Ohio State defense stepping up against this Oregon offense this week. I think they're the better team. Dylan Gabriel's great. We've seen him play in great games. Big games, of course, but I trust this Ohio State team a little more. I think 3 points is honestly a pretty good line, but I'm going to take the 3 points. I think it's definitely worth it. I don't fully believe in this Oregon team this year. I think they're a little overrated. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but I will take Ohio State minus 3 here. Washington. Why am I blanking on who Washington plays? Washington plays. Let's see. Iowa. That's right. They play Iowa. I don't believe in this Iowa team as much. And we saw Washington have a great win over Michigan last week. They looked solid. They played great defense. They were able to complete on offense. I think giving us 3 points in a big weekend for college football. I'll take the points any day on that. I'm even leaning taking the money line, but I think the +3 is a very nice look on that one. And lastly, we got Cal plus 3.5. They play. Who does Cal play? Cal plays Pittsburgh. That's right. Pittsburgh's looked good. I've been on them a lot this year, and it's been very nice. They're 4-0 or 5-0, I think now. But Cal's a good team. They've played some really close games. They beat Auburn. They've covered a lot of spreads, and I think they're a way more underrated team than people might think. They almost beat Miami. I think it was last week. They should have won that game. That game was messed up. But, yeah, they should have won that game too. They just didn't know how to hold the lead against that Miami team, and I will take 3.5 points for Cal. They look good on both sides of the ball, and I think 3.5 is a great line. Moving on, we got one UFC pick. We've got Themba and Al Hassan. If you combine them, it's plus 105. I think Themba was like minus 375. I mean, he should totally win that fight. Themba's beast. He's up and coming. Dude's just he's a freak. He's awesome. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch right now on the up and coming. And Abdul, it should be a decently easy win. They're both kind of trying to get through the climb right now and get to those top spots. And I think just pairing them at together and getting plus 105 is phenomenal value. So moving on, we just got a couple parlays if you guys want to tail. A couple player props. We'll start at the bottom real quick. I did a little money line parlay. I did 49ers, the Steelers, Cal, and Ohio State, 20 to win, 160. I think it's pretty good odds, honestly, especially for those money lines. I will totally take that. I think it's good odds. You know, Niners on a money line in a primetime game. Like I already said, great spot for them. Steelers are playing great ball. Defense looks phenomenal. Cal's been in some really tough matchups and has basically covered every time. They look phenomenal too, and I trust Ohio State in a big game like this. So I think that's a decent money line parlay. So the two prize picks, those are going to be all four of these are for the Thursday night game. We'll start in the top left. We've got George Kittle receptions, Purdy pass yards, Smith pass yards, and Charbonnet receiving yards, rush and receiving yards. So Kittle's been getting a lot of looks. 4.5 receptions is, I think, a pretty fair line for me. I see the game being a little slower tonight. Maybe a couple checkdowns. Some quick 7-yard routes from Kittle. I see him having a pretty decent game this week. I know they've been spreading the ball out a decent amount, but Purdy's looked great, and it's prime time. I think 4.5 receptions is a pretty good line. Purdy pass yards, he's been killing it this year. Christian McCaffrey has been hard on them. I know Jordan Mason looks phenomenal. I mean, their O-line's still gross, and Jordan Mason's played phenomenal for them. But 250 is honestly a pretty good line for Purdy. And especially if there's any chance they go down in this game, I mean, he should easily hit that line. Their receiving core's nuts, and they've got a phenomenal offense. Same with Geno. They've been so pass-heavy this year. Geno's averaging 35, 37 attempts a game. And I think this Niners defense is not as great as it has been in the past. It's not a bad defense, don't get me wrong. It's still a pretty good defense, but this Seahawks pass game has been phenomenal. And I think he gets a couple dink and dumps to Charbonnet as well. That's why I took his rush and receiving. And, the Niners haven't been great against the run this year, so I like that one a lot. That one in the middle is basically just boosted both of them to hit 300 yards. I think it could happen, but it's kind of a let's just see what happens type of game. If it ends up being a high-scoring game, that could totally hit. Bottom left, we got a little first quarter parlay that I like. Jordan Mason, rush yards, and DK receiving yards. That's one DK couch in the first quarter. I think he can easily hit that. He has hit it the past couple games, which has been nice. And Jordan Mason, I think the Niners are going to start off slow. Not necessarily scoring-wise. They might be up in the first quarter, but they're going to try and control the clock. They're going to lean on their run game. It's been phenomenal this year. I think 20 yards in the first quarter is totally doable for Mason. I mean, he could get it on 2 runs. And then we've got the big 6-legger, 20 to win 300. We got Mason rush yards, JSN receiving yards, Kenneth Walker receiving yards, Brock Purdy pass, Charbonnet rush yards, and George Kittle. So we kind of already went over Mason, Purdy, Charbonnet, and Kittle. JSN, I like this spot for them. The Niners haven't been great against slot receivers this year, and JSN's been a great look that Geno has loved this year. And 48, I think he could easily get it in 3 catches if he had some solid one big run. But he's been good. He's been getting a lot of targets. I could see him getting 5-6 receptions this game and hitting 50 yards with ease. And then Kenneth Walker, same thing. They like that dink and dump at times, and Kenneth's finally back from injury. I think he'll be getting a lot more looks and stuff like that. So I think overall it's a pretty decent pair. Good odds on it, but yeah. So I hope you guys did enjoy these picks today. I'm looking forward to a super good weekend, big college games, big NFL, UFC fight. Can't hate it at all. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and follow, and we will see how we do this weekend. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.